boxes from the middle of the floor. I don't check the driveway for your car anymore. The grocery list is shorter, the coffee's just for one. I'm learning how to breathe again now that we are done. I bought a different brand of soap to wash away the scent of all the broken promises and where the money went. I'm staring at a calendar with empty white squares, walking through a hallway that no longer feels like ours. The ink is fresh, the paper's clean and white, but it's heavy as a mountain in the middle of the night. And I'm starting a new chapter without you today, learning how to speak with nothing left to say. The protagonist is lonely, the setting is cold. It's a different kind of story than the one we had told. I'm turning the page with a hand that still shakes between the new beginning and the old heartaches. The words feel like a penance, the plot feels like a view of a world that's keep on spinning, but it's missing you. I went to that party that we used to always skip. I didn't have to worry about the words upon my lips. I stayed until the morning, I danced until I hurt, but I felt like a stranger in my own favorite shirt. There's a silence in the kitchen where your laughter used to ring. I'm finding out that freedom is a terrifying thing. I can go wherever, I can stay out late, but I'm still just a victim of a storyline I hate. They say write what you know, well I know how it feels to lose the very ground beneath your spinning wheels, to watch the main character walk out of the frame and realize that I'm the only one who stays the same. Is lonely, the setting is cold. It's a different kind of story than the one we had told. I'm turning the page with a hand that still shakes between the new beginning and the old heartaches. The words feel like a penance, the plot feels like a view of a world that's keep on spinning, but it's missing you. Sorry, and the please can you stay? The ink is still wet, the story isn't through, but it's a lonely new chapter without you. I'm standing on the corner of 5th and Main, watching 10,000 faces dissolve in the rain. There's a roar in the subway, a hum in the street, and the rhythm of a million rhythmic feet. I'm checking my phone just to see the glow of a name that I deleted a lifetime ago. The neon Skyscrapers reach for a heaven that's cold, and I'm just a story that's already been told. And I'm lost in a city of millions tonight, searching for a shadow in a harsh electric light. How can a map have so many names when every direction feels exactly the same? I'm a ghost in the crosswalk, a blur on the glass, watching the world and all memories passes. It's too loud to scream and it's too crowded to cry. Lost in a city of millions under a concrete sky. I walk past the cafe where we used to sit. They've painted the walls and the candles are lit for someone else's secrets, for someone else's glass. I'm just a stranger waiting for the light to pass. I see a coat on a girl in the park, then she turns her head. Just another question that nobody knows. If I shouted your name from the top of the tower, would it reach you through the noise of the rush hour? Or would it just shatter against the steel and remind me that silence is all I can feel? Exactly the same. I'm a ghost in the crosswalk, a blur on the glass, watching the world and our memories pass. It's too loud to scream and it's too crowded to cry. Lost in a city of millions under a concrete sky. Of deep blue, lost in the crowd, lost in the sound. In a city of millions, I'm the only one who hasn't been found. I remember the way your hand felt in mine, like a puzzle piece locked in a perfect design. But I took for granted the warmth of your skin. I didn't know then where the ending would begin. The car door is heavy, the driveway is long, and the radio's playing our favorite song. But it sounds like a requiem, hollow and low, because I was the one who let go of the rope. The space in my palms is a canyon tonight, and I'm reaching for shadows in the pale city light. Now I'm wishing I'd held on a little bit tighter before the fire went out and the world grew no brighter. I'd have memorized every line on your hand. nothing stays the same. Now I look at my fingers so empty and cold, missing the weight of the story we told. I trade every freedom, every Sunday to go back to the moment I pushed you away. It's the almost that kill me, the could have beens too, the versions of me that were still next to you. I thought there'd be time, I thought there'd be more, but the waves only crash on a barren shore. Before the fire went out and the world grew no brighter, I'd have memorized every line on your hand, like a traveler tracing the maps of the land. But I let my grip loose and I let the silk slip. Now I'm sinking down deep with the ghost of a ship, looking back at the shore through the blur of the fighter, wishing I'd held on just a little bit tighter. Nobody standing, there's nobody there, just the ghost of a touch. I didn't quite keep a promise I made while the world was asleep. Tighter, I should have held on. I'm sitting on the floor of our bedroom tonight, with a box full of memories and a dim yellow light. I found the ticket stubs from that first movie show back when we didn't have anywhere else to go. Starting at the end where the ink is all blurred, where I love you became an unspoken word. And I'm working my way to the start of the book just to see how we look before everything shook. The paper is yellow, the edges are torn. I'm walking back through the life that we've worn, and I'm turning the pages backwards tonight, watching the shadows turn back into light. I'm unsaying the screams and I'm breaking the glass, watching the ghosts of our happiness pass. I'm erasing the cold and I'm finding the spark. Before we were strangers, lost in the dark. If I read it in reverse, maybe you'll stay. Turning the pages back to yesterday. By the lake, before every promise was something to break. I'm watching you laugh as you jump from the pier. The sound is so sharp, I can feel you right here. I'm unpacking the boxes, I'm unlocking the door. I'm putting your shoes back down on the floor. I'm rewinding the clock till the sun doesn't set to the part of the story I haven't lost yet. But the chapters get thinner the further I go, and I'm reaching the parts that I already know. The prologue is beautiful, white and so clean, before there was any us in between. Now I've reached the front cover, just a name and a date. Before it was love, before it was faded. It's just a blank page, so quiet and new. Before I ever knew a version of you. I'm closing the book now. The candle is low. I've run out of pages. I have to let go. I'm digging through the drywall in the dust of our dreams, staring at the jagged edges of the broken support beams. There's a footprint in the plaster where we danced upon the air. Now I'm crawling on my knees just to see if I'm still there. I found a piece of mirror that didn't shatter in the fall, but the face looking back is someone I don't know at all. I'm pulling back the insulation, heavy with the rain, trying to find the me that isn't defined by the pain. The roof is long gone and the stars are looking down on the wreckage of the boy who let himself drown. And I'm finding myself in the rubble and the rust, sifting through the ashes and the forever turning dust. I'm unearthing the heartbeat I buried in your shade, counting all the ghosts of the mistakes that we made. It's a long way to climb from the ground to the light. When the walls of your world collapsed in the night, I'm picking up the shards, trying to make the pieces fit, finding myself in the middle of it. Here's a photograph of us, half buried in the dirt. It's funny how a piece of paper carries so much hurt. I'm setting it aside on a pile for the fire, walking past the ruins of a collapsed empire. I found a set of keys that don't open any doors, and a version of my laughter that isn't trapped in yours. I'm clearing out the debris, one heavy stone at a time, learning how to breathe without the reason or the rhyme. In 2020, see if the grass is starting to grow through the cracks in the foundation we laid years ago. It's not a reconstruction, it's a total reset. The hardest part of living is what I haven't seen yet. Yeah, I'm finding myself in the rubble and the rust, sifting through the ashes and the forever turning dust. I'm unearthing the heartbeat I buried in your shade, counting all the ghosts of the mistakes that we made. It's a long way to climb from the ground to the light. When the walls of your world collapsed in the night, I'm picking up the shards, trying to make the pieces fit, finding myself in the middle of it. My hands are a mess, but the weight is a little bit less. I'm standing up straight in the ruins of fate. I'm still here beneath the debris. I'm finally finding a version of me. watch the steam rise from your coffee cup, waiting for a crack, for a look, for a don't give up. But you were staring at the rain on the window pane, counting the drops to avoid the mention of my name. I had 1,000 words lined up behind my teeth, a jagged little army hiding underneath. But the clock on the wall was the only thing that spoke, while the weight of the air made me feel like I might choke. We're masters of the quiet, we're experts at the pause, breaking our own hearts without ever finding the cause. And oh, it's deafening, the silence of unsaid things, the weight of the I love yous with their broken wings, the please don't go that died inside my throat, the I'm sorry that I never dared to wrote. It's the loudest sound I've ever had to hear, a symphony of everything we buried out of fear. Now we're just two shadows in a house that rings with the crushing silence of unsaid things. I almost touched your shoulder when you turned to leave, but I pulled back my hand, tucked it in my sleeve. I wanted to ask if you remember the night in May, before we ran out of the right things to say. Now the bed is a desert, 3 feet of no man's land. I'm reaching for you, but I'm losing my hand. We're screaming in our heads while we smile with our eyes, telling the most beautiful, quietest lies. If I say it now, will it be too late? Is the we that we were just a victim of fate, or did we let the quiet grow into a wall until we couldn't hear each other's hearts at all? Please don't go that died inside my throat, the I'm sorry that I never dared to wrote. It's the loudest sound I've ever had to hear, a symphony of everything we buried out of fear. Now we're just two shadows in a house that rings with the crushing silence of unsaid things. The front door clicks, and the stay I didn't say is the only thing left. Just a room full of ghosts and a heart that's been quietly bereft. I'm still talking to you in my sleep, but these are the secrets that the silence keeps. Woke up and reached for the heat of your skin, but the sheets were as cold as the state that I'm in. I tried to make breakfast, I poured out 2 cups, then I sat in the dark till the sun started up. There's a draft in the hallway that wasn't there then, a shiver that finds me again and again. It's not just your absence, it's not just the ghost, it's the part of my spirit that I miss the most. And I'm a bird with no sky, I'm a well running dry. asking the universe why. 'Cause there's this hollow feeling deep in my chest, like a house that was looted and laid to its rest. It's a canyon of silence, a hole in the light where the me that you loved went and died in the night. I'm breathing in oxygen, breathing out breath, watching the pieces of me blow away. The world is still spinning, but I've lost the sense, living with this hollow feeling inside of my chest. I went to the doctor, I said something is wrong. I've got a heartbeat that's dragging along. He looked at the x-ray, he looked at the bone. He said, physically, friend, you were holding your own. But he didn't see the crater where your name used to sit, or the way that the shadows have moved into it. I'm a bell that's been cracked, I'm a clock with no hands, a stranger alone and in my own native place. Say that the heart is a muscle, it heals, but they don't understand how the emptiness feels. It's a weight that is weightless, a burden of air, a constant reminder that you aren't there. This hollow feeling inside of my chest. I'm knocking on my ribs. Is anyone home? Just the echo of marrow and the rattle of bone. I'm hollow, I'm hollow. Maybe one day the wind will stop whistling through, but for now I'm just empty, empty of you. I'm sitting on the edge of the mattress we bought back when forever was a simple thought. The room is full of boxes stacked up to the light, hiding the ghost of every Tuesday night. I found your old bookmark in the bedside drawer, a little scrap of ribbon on the hardwood floor. It's funny how a story can feel so vast until you realize you're breathing in the last. The ink is dry, the cover's getting cold on the greatest story that we ever told. And here I am, reading the final page of our book, searching for a sequel in the way that you look. But your eyes are like a period at the end of a line, and ours is turning back into yours and mine. We ran out of chapters, we ran out of space to write when we're sorry we couldn't erase. The plot didn't twist, it just slowly unhooked, and I'm crying over the final page of our book. I wanna go back to the middle of the tale, before the words started to feel so frail, to the part where we're laughing in the pouring rain, before the subtext was written in pain. But you can't force the fire from a gutter in flame, and you can't find the magic by whispering a name. The spine of this life is starting to crack, and there's no way to move if we're always looking back. Do I close it now? Do I set it on the shelf next to the versions of my former self? Or do I keep it open just to see your name, even if the ending stays exactly the same? Sequel in the way that you look, but your eyes are like the period at the end of a line, and ours is turning back into yours and mine. We ran out of chapters, we ran out of space to write one more story we couldn't erase. The plot didn't twist, it just slowly unhooked, and I'm crying over the final page of our book. The so small in the white, just two little words to finish the fight. I'm closing the cover, I'm turning the key, but I'll keep the story inside of me. One last breath, one last look goodbye to the final page of our book. I remember when we picked the colors for the hall, a shade of forever to hang on the wall. We hammered the nails in the studs made of trust. Now the hammer is heavy and covered in rust. I'm pulling the frames where our faces were bright, exposing the squares of a faded LA. The wallpaper's peeling like skin from a burn, revealing the lessons we refused to learn. We spent 20 summers making this home. Now I'm dismantling it all on my own, and I'm tearing down the walls that we built to stay warm, the ones that we swore would weather the storm, brick by heavy brick. I'm unmaking the view of the life that I thought I would finish for you. The roof is wide open, the rain's coming in to wash out the places where us used to begin. It's hollow and shaking, it's tilting from true. I'm tearing down the walls just to get over you. The kitchen is empty, the echoes are loud. The stove is a tombstone under a cloud. I remember the morning we danced on this floor before we started locking the bedroom door. I'm ripping the carpet that muffled our fights. I'm cutting the wires and dimming the lights. It's funny how easy a sanctuary falls when there's nothing but ghosts living inside the walls. They say home is a feeling, not wood and not stone, but I'm feeling the splinters deep in my bone. I thought we were building a castle, a crown, but we just built a prison we have to burn down. just a lot with some glass and some dirt, a pile of lumber and a whole lot of hurt. The wind is blowing through the space where we lay. I'm standing in the rubble of our yesterday. Down, it's all coming down until there's nothing left but the ground. The sound of a single heavy stone in the earth, followed by wind. I went back to the diner on 42nd Street. Sat in the booth where our worlds used to meet. I ordered for one, but I looked for your ghost in the steam of the tea and the crumbs of the toast. They say that it's better to have tried and have failed than to leave a great story without any detail. But looking at photos, I don't feel the light, I just feel the sting of that final cold night. People ask how I'm doing, I tell them I'm fine, while I'm tracing the wreckage of your life and mine. And it's heavy to carry, it's a bitter old truth that I wasted the gold and the glow of my youth on a fire that burned me, on a heart made of stone, on a version of us where I ended alone. I don't miss the magic, I just miss the time that I spent trying to make your broken heart rhyme. Of all of the ghosts that I've walked through the blue, my biggest regret is loving you. I'm scrubbing the scent of you out of the sheets. I'm avoiding the parks and the one-way streets. I gave you the keys to the parts of my soul that I'm still trying hard to make back into whole. I shouldn't have stayed through the maybe and wait. I shouldn't have let you decide on my fate. Now I'm 5 years behind where I wanted to be, 'cause I was busy waiting for you to see me. It's not that I hate you, it's worse than a spark. It's the hollow realization of the time in the dark, the birthdays, the summers, the plans that we made are just debts in a bank that'll never be paid. And it's heavy to carry, it's a bitter road. loving you. I'm taking my heart back, piece by slow piece, searching for some kind of quiet release. I'm sorry I stayed when I should have just run. I'm sorry for everything I haven't done, 'cause I was with you. Yeah, I was with you. What a waste of the blue. My biggest regret is you.